Keep your phones on silent. 2 is do not enter and exit the meetings more often. That might cause interference in the presenters. 3 is very important. Please applaud when somebody is presenting speeches or any kind of participation. Encourage the participants, right? And now coming to the theme of today's meeting, let me keep it as a surprise and let me introduce you to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Grace. And thank you, Toastmaster Grace, for taking up this role in the last minute, and we are eagerly waiting for the theme today.
Hello.
This virtual stage is yours, Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Archana. So maybe everyone is thinking, what will be the theme of today? Today is May 4th. And so the theme for today is the famous Star Wars line. May the Force be with you, or maybe may the Fourth be with you. And you can see that in my virtual background tonight. And so that is the theme for today. It's to commemorate the famous series Star Wars, which was made by George Lucas. But I'm just gonna give some facts about the May 4th theme. So the famous line May the 4th be with you was actually said by Margaret Thatcher in May 4, 1979 during a parliamentary meeting. And so it became a moniker, and it has been adapted later on as part of the series commemoration. Some of the important Star Wars related activities during on May 4th is that during May 4th, 2020, the finale of Clone Wars was being shown in Disney Plus. And then in May 4th, 2022, Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer was shown as well. But what was the most important event during the May 4th commemoration today is the famous Princess Leia, which is Carrie Fisher. Today on May 4th, 2023, she has been given a star on the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame as her participation being Princess Leia in the famous Star Wars series. So I will be back again with some more information like trivias about Star Wars. And so my fellow Toastmasters, again, may the 4th be with you. And so today we will have 3 parts for this Interpersonal Toastmasters meeting. First is the prepared speeches. Second will be our impromptu speeches. And third will be our evaluation speeches. But before we begin, let me call on my tag team. These are my timer, grammarian, and do we have a counter? My grammarian and timer for today to talk about the roles. Susan, Toastmaster Susan, please tell us about our roles, about your role. Thank you.
Thank you. It would be my requirement to keep track of all of the speakers, evaluators, and table topics participants. When they reach the minimum time, they will see green. The midway time, it's almost over, 1 minute to go or less. And then red means you have completed your job. Please wrap it up. You have 30 seconds leeway after that. Most speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, though tonight we have an icebreaker, which is 4 to 6 minutes. So Shukrath will see the green at 4, the yellow at 5, and the red at 6. The other speaker, Archana, is 5 to 7 minutes. She'll see the green at 5, the yellow at 6, and the red at 7, indicating time for her to wrap up. Both of the evaluators will be slotted for 2 to 3 minutes. The green will appear at 2, the yellow at 2.5, the red at 3. In table topics or impromptu speaking, we try to reach the minimum of 1 minute where we will see the green And 1.5 minute, we will see the yellow, time to wrap it up. Red means you have reached the 2-minute mark. It is time to wrap up your last few sentences so that you can finish within that 30-second window. I will also be keeping track of the overall time for the meeting and the table topics as we go through, and then give a report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susan. Let me call on our grammarian to talk about the word of the day. Toastmaster Mohan.
Yeah, so the word of the day is, I'm Toastmaster Mohan. The word of the day is nuance. Nuance is small, very minute difference. That is a noun. So the nuances are very, very something which they may look very much similar, but they're a bit different. For example, adopt and adapt. Adopt means you adjust to a situation. Adapt is skillful. So the difference is E. Instead of adopt, you have ADAPT here. The other case, we have ADEPT. So the nuance or nuances, any plurals, please feel free to use something around the word nuance. So this is the word of the day. I encourage each one of you to use the word nuance. My role today is to observe the vocabulary or the grammar. At the end of the meeting, I will highlight the good usages in terms of vocab and grammar, and also tell you the areas of improvement. I will also type it in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohan. And so please use the word of the day, which is nuance. So let us begin with the first part of our meeting for tonight, which is the prepared speeches. Since our first evaluator is not yet here, let me call on our second evaluator, Toastmaster Jim, to talk about the speech of our speaker, Toastmaster Shukru. Toastmaster Jim, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Shakruth tonight will be presenting his icebreaker speech as part of the innovative planning path of pathways. His speech title, Life is a Challenge, and the purpose of his icebreaker speech is simply to introduce himself to our club. So the title, Life is a Challenge, and the time, 4 to 6 minutes.
Life is a challenge, Toastmaster Shukrat. Toastmaster Shukrat, life is a challenge.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm going to give my icebreaker speech today. Life is a challenge. Who won't like to spend time with their parents, family, and friends? Especially me. I'm really fond of doing this. And I really like to go to gym, do exercise, and burn myself. Sukrut, and if a person have superpowers like having fire, water, and many superpowers like in DC and Marvel, if one day he uses his superpowers to burn someone's house, what would be the situation? Let me link this situation with myself. So to go back, when I was a kid, I used to go to my village in summer holidays. In holidays, I was not in school, so I used to go to my village. In my maternal village, my grandparents used to live, and they used to have a grocery store, general store. So at a free time, I would go to the store and I would spend some time. After coming home, I would eat, I would play, I would do a lots of things. One fine day, me and my brother, when we used to be like, I was in 3rd standard, he was in 1st standard. We were fond to play. We were so creative that we need to search all the things. We need to disperse all the things. we found a matchbox. We were so excited. Wow, this is a matchbox. And we used to have papers with us, a newspaper, or we could find paper anywhere. And we started playing with the matchbox. We took out the matchstick. We lighted it and we kept on the fire. When the fire was small, we were excited. And slowly the paper began to burn a lot, and a lot. After this, there was a huge fire. We were scared. At the beginning, we were happy. At that moment, we don't know what was it. And after that, the fire became huge, and we scared. We both went down to ground floor, and this happened in the first floor. And we were silent, like we don't know anything. We were calm. And from the outside, the viewers, means we used to have neighbors and friends. The opposite neighbor saw the fire and called my uncle, who was in shop, and said, "Your building caught up with fire." My uncle was shocked. What are you saying? A building? And he immediately ran to our house. He didn't get a thought to call us, call our mom and anything. He immediately ran to the house and we started pouring water on it. And I was calm. I was really shocked. I was really scared. Oh, what did I do? I don't know anything. What was I doing? So after a half an hour or 1 hour, the fire went, and I ran away to the shop because I was really scared that what would my mother say me. I did a mistake. I did a huge mistake. And when I was with my younger brother, it's my responsibility to take care of him or same. But I was the only person who did this. After some time, after 3 hours, my mother called me. She said to come home. I cried. I really cried. I don't know what to do. And I quickly ran away from the shop also. I just took some money from the counter and I ate some food in bakery. I don't know that at that moment, what did I do? After coming home, my mother hugged me and said, "Why did you do this? If you do a mistake, you need to say us. We are here to correct you. We are here to help you. If you're scared for the punishment, you can't grow in your life." I realized at that time, and I got a bit of regret. Not that much, but I got a regret after growing, and I got to know really if we do mistakes also, we need to accept it. We need to say our elders and learn from the mistakes that we do. So after the making mistakes, making a lot of mistakes is life. Learning from it, you grow from it. And this is how I conclude my speech. Life is a challenge. You need to face it. You shouldn't run it. You should not run from it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shukrut. Such a wonderful lesson that when we have mistakes, we can learn and grow from it. And that is how we also do here in Toastmasters. Each of our speeches we learn from and we grow as a speaker as we go along as well. So for our second speaker,
Would you like me to step in as the evaluator since Catherine has not shown up?
yes, please. Thank you, Toastmaster Susan, for stepping in as evaluator for Toastmaster Archana. So Toastmaster Suzanne, can you talk about and present to us what would be the speech details for Toastmaster Archana's speech? Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I do not have the path or the speech project for Archana. I only have a title. Archana, would you like to share with us what project you are working and what path?
Yeah, I'm on visionary communication pathway on level 3.
Which communication pathway?
Visionary communication.
Visionary communication, and it's a level 3. And what is the project you have chosen for today?
I don't remember the whole subjective thing, Susan.
Okay. Okay, then you will be more generalized. If you can tell it to me later, I'll get it on the right form for you. In the meanwhile, I presume it's a 5 to 7 minute, as many of them are, and her speech is titled Never Stop Questioning. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susan. Never stop questioning, Toastmaster Archana. Toastmaster Archana, never stop questioning.
Can you all hear me and see me?
Mhm.
Okay. Why is the sky blue? Who invented alphabets? Why is the water wet? Where does the sky end? Did you come across these kind of questions earlier? Spend few minutes with a 4-year child and you will be surprised at the curiosity. Yes, kids learn a lot by asking questions. But as we grow, we tend to ask less and less questions. Why does that happen so? Did we ever reflect on that? Why do we stop asking questions? Do we think that we know everything as we grow? Or are we scared of rejections? Or do we think that people think that we are stupid when we ask questions? I will leave you with these questions. Maybe you can ponder on this after the meeting and make some points for yourself. Meanwhile, Einstein once said, question everything. The important thing is never stop being curious. Let me tell you one research. Research says that kids at the age of 4 are the ones who ask lots of questions. In fact, girls at the age of the 4 are the ones who ask most questions. Any guesses how many questions they ask in a day? Any
20
guess on
questions.
that?
20 questions.
Say that again.
Yeah, 20 questions.
No. Yeah, you can still try. Let's give one more chance. It's quite bigger than that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, let me tell you, 390 questions in a day. That's a big number, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you one story, small story. Once a father and a daughter went for a picnic. This is long back. I don't know the year, but this is long back. Once a father and a daughter went on a picnic, and father captured a picture of his daughter. And the daughter said, Dad, why can't I see the picture instantly? So that question of his daughter brought some curiosity in the father, and this led to the invention of Polaroid. Isn't that amazing? Let me tell you from some examples from my own life. My son, when he was quite young, let me show his picture. This is one picture I captured of him. Can you see? That's a boy. And that's me. So when he was at the age of 4 and somewhere between 4 and 5, he used to ask lots of questions. One day he asked me, while watching TV, news channel, he asked me, Mom, why is it called breaking news? And why not fixing news? I was really surprised. And all I could say is, wow, I never thought like that. One fine day he asked me, Mom, what is the door made up of? I said, it's made up of wood. And he said, it's made of millions of particles of wood. I was like, oh, wow. I never thought in that perspective. That's amazing. Spend some time with kids and you will know what kind of questions to ask. Let me tell you one more point. Once he came to me and asked, Mom, will you buy me a PS4? Will you buy me a remote car or a PS4? Then I thought, let me better choose a remote car rather than a PS4. What I was puzzled was the way he has posed the question at such young age. I had no chance, no choice, but to give him one gift of the two. And that is one of the negotiating skill, right? Yes. Now, why did we come with this topic? Why did I come with this topic today? Once, when I was in my office in a leadership meeting, one of the senior leader asked the whole group, why is it that people do not ask questions in the big meetings, be it a town hall or a greater gathering? That's an opportunity for people to pose questions and get bigger insights. So that's when it triggered to me why it's that frequently the same set of people ask questions. And I came up with this article with some research, and that's when I put it forward to my office mates as well. Now, what would I recommend you all? When you get back to after the meeting, when you get back to your normal routine, please strike a conversation with your partner, with your colleague, with your friends, or even with the strangers, and ask them what drives their life, what is their goal, or any question, because right questions will always enhance the relationship and it opens door for new possibilities. So next time when you have question in your mind, what would you do? Would you ask the question and be stupid for a few minutes? Or do not ask the question at all and be clueless forever? Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Archana. It's really a good, you gave us a very good thinking statement there. Are we going to ask questions or keep silent? And so, like you said, it is really good to ask questions, because no questions are dumb, because this will make us all learned. And so let's move on. But before we move on to the second part of our Toastmaster meeting, I will continue with our theme for today, which is about Star Wars, as our theme is May the 4th be with you. So today, as promised, I will give you some of the trivias about Star Wars in lieu of today's theme, and then I will shift gear to being your table topics master and ask questions. So I will have you on your thinking mind with these table topics questions that I have prepared for everyone. So first, let me tell you some 10 things about Star Wars that maybe you know already, or maybe you just want to know. First is that, did you know that Yoda in Sanskrit means warrior? And second, the famous Han Solo, which was portrayed by Harrison Ford, was actually an accident already. Like, he was not supposed to be part of the Star Wars series, but he was able to get the Han Solo part. And also, did you know that the famous E.T. is also part of Star Wars? E.T. had a cameo role during the Phantom of Menace installment of Star Wars. Also, did you know that the lightsaber, the colors of the lightsaber used by in Star Wars had their meaning? The blue or the green ones are used by Jedis who are the guardians or the consulars. The famous band NSYNC, do you guys know NSYNC band? I don't know if it was in your ages, but the famous NSYNC band also had a cameo role into the Star Wars installment Attack of the Clones. And the famous Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, recorded his lines only in one day for the whole Star Wars series. Yoda was supposed to be a monkey, and Yoda, the voice of Yoda and the voice of Puppet Miss Piggy is being said by the same person. So those are just some of the famous Star Wars trivias for those Star Wars fans. Now let me shift gears to be your table topic master. So for table topics, I will ask questions and you will have 1 to 2 minutes for you to give us the answer on these questions. And we have our timer here who will give us the color green if we reach the 1 minute, yellow for 1.5, and 2 if you are on the second minute. So now let me ask you who wants to get the first table topic question. Anyone? Any volunteer? Okay. Toastmaster Jim. Okay, this is your question. How would you advise someone to attend the first Toastmaster meeting? How would you advise someone to attend the first Toastmaster meeting? Toastmaster Jim.
How would I advise someone to attend a first Toastmasters meeting? I would say, first of all, I would encourage the person to come with an open mind. I would thank the person for his or her willingness to come to the Toastmasters meeting, not knowing possibly what to expect. And I would also reassure the person that at whatever Toastmaster meeting he or she goes to, they're going to be greeted with a warm and friendly group of people whose goal is to just help each other and him should they go further and go to other Toastmaster meetings, just to let them know that they're in for an educational and supportive experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. Now let me ask anyone from our guests who would like to have, would like to get the second question. Toastmaster.
You can give a topic to me.
Okay. Toastmaster Mohan. All right. Second question. In line with Star Wars, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? If you have one superpower, what would it be? Toastmaster Mohan.
What is the superpower? This is really an interesting topic. What is the superpower? There are so many challenges in this world that are really challenging a lot of people. But first of all, I should be really choosy in selecting my problem that I would like to solve. One thing that comes to my mind at this moment is the global travel. I'm right now in the United States. I came here a couple of weeks back. This is the 9th country I have visited in my career. One thing I always found troublesome is standing in a line at the airport, showing a passport, showing a visa, and and then going through the security, immigration, whatnot. After going through this problem several times, which at least I feel it as a problem, I want to create, if I have a superpower, maybe someone who is like someone the part of the United Nations head, I will create a global visa. So it is like for some people, I will give a global visa. Maybe there could be some qualities or some parameters or points which you really need to qualify for. And once you get it, you need not, apply for any country's passport or visa. It is like the world is completely porous. You can go from anywhere to anywhere. I'm sure it will at least help some of the people to smoothly navigate across the world. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohan. Now, who else would like to get the next table topic? Toastmaster Archana. Toastmaster Archana. Do you think intelligence is fixed or can anyone become smarter with desire? Do you think intelligence is fixed or can anyone become smarter with desire? Toastmaster Archana.
I 100% believe that intelligence is not fixed and it can be improvised and learned and evolved over a period of time. And there are many personality development books, and also I've seen that in practice in my life and in many others' life, that intelligence can grow and groom and can be groomed, right? Recently, I was reading a book about mindset, right? Growth mindset. So it is all about how we exercise our brain muscles and make them capable of learn and become intelligent. There is one thing that probably is not something which is easy to learn, and that is common sense, and that I totally believe. But intelligence is something which can be built and groomed. We do have lots of educational videos and lots of institutions for that, and definitely yoga, meditation, and many other exercising patterns help us achieve and evolve on the intelligence pattern. For sure. So that is my take on this question. Toastmaster Grace, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Archana. Who else would like to have the next table topics? Toastmaster Kuldeep, do you want to get the next table topic question?
Yeah, please.
Okay. The next table topic, my table topic question for you is that what is more important for you, speaking or listening? What is more important for you, speaking or listening? Toastmaster Kuldeep.
Thank you, Toastmaster, to give me the chance for this table topic, and this is very interesting topic. And in my point of view, listening is very important, because if we don't listen, then we will not understand that what to speak. If I will speak and nobody will understand my thing, then there is no matter of speaking. First, I should listen. I should understand what is the matter, what is the feeling of the person with whom we are talking, what is the scenario, what perspective is that in which we are talking. Then only I can speak relevantly. If I will not listen, if I will not understand the thing, then just speaking, if I will speak, then it has no matter that I speak or don't speak. In my point of view, listening is very critical and it is very rare. People try to speak more without understanding the feelings, the perspective, the scenario of the situation, but they speak. But the listening is very critical and it is rare, one of the rare skills. And we should learn, we should try to understand. And this is not, there is difference between listening and hearing also. So we should try to listen before speaking, listen, understand, and then speak. So listening is more important than speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kuldeep. I still have some table topics. Maybe we can have some more. Toastmaster Shukrut. What's the biggest difference between victor and victim mentality? What's the biggest difference between victor and victim mentality? Toastmaster Shukrut.
The difference between victor and victim mentality. Talking about mentality, people have many different mentalities. Victim isn't that clever, or he may be clever, but he doesn't use at that point of time. And to the when a situation comes to him, he will be calm, he'll be silent, and he will be the victim, obviously. And the victor, he faces the situation, he comes from it, he comes out from it, he challenges it, and his mentality is completely different from the victim. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shukrut. I think that ends the second part of our table topics, where I asked questions and a lot of you gave very insightful answers to the questions that I have posted or I have given to you. Now we move on to the last part, which I feel the most important part in any Toastmasters meeting. This is the evaluation part, where we get to really understand things that we have been good at in our speeches, at the same time, things that will help us grow into becoming a better speaker in Toastmasters. Now, may I begin and call on the first evaluator, which is, I would presume it should be evaluator Toastmaster Jim, to talk about the speech of Toastmaster Shukrut. Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And thanks to Shakruth for offering his icebreaker speech, Life is a Challenge. One thing that I noticed right away, Shakruth, in your speech is that you really had very high energy. And we could tell from your body language, you really, really, really wanted to get your points across to us, and that it was very important for you to do that. That, I think, is a good thing to communicate to any audience, that you have something important that you want to say and that we really, really, really need to listen. So that's the first thing that I noticed from your presentation. You spoke about an experience with your family, especially your brother. You and he would play with matchboxes. And you talked about how eventually, because of a mistake that you made, a building caught fire. And you really didn't want to let your mom know about it because you were afraid, but your mom taught you a bedrock lesson that you communicated to us in your speech, that whenever you make an error, it's always better to face it and to learn from it and to grow from it. And your mom communicated that to you. You did a very good job in terms of presenting that theme to us. A couple of suggestions I would make for improvement. That high energy I spoke about, it's very good. It seemed as though you were rushing just a bit. You have plenty of time to get your ideas across. So whenever you deliver your next speech, just certain nuances to keep in mind, just to breathe a bit. You're in control of your message. and you are in control of how it is that you deliver it. Try to take your time, maybe just a little bit more, because you have that time. And your message is one that's important enough for us to hear. The second thing is maybe I would presume that you wrote your speech out, and it's always a great idea to try to practice your speech beforehand as much as possible. And I understand giving a first speech for the first time, it can be very nerve-wracking. But once again, you really gave us an excellent message tonight, and it certainly is one to build upon. You did a very good job for your first speech, and we look forward to hearing more speeches from you in the future. Thank you so much for your speech tonight, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jim, for that insightful feedback for Toastmaster Shukrut. Now may I call on the second evaluator, Toastmaster Susan, to give the evaluation for Toastmaster Archana's speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, but especially Archana. Wow, never stop questioning, intriguing, immediately hook the audience saying, what's this going to be all about? And you started out with a litany of different questions, such as why is the sky blue, and a whole bunch others. And I could just imagine that 4-year-old sitting there having those questions, and we as parents not always having the right answers for them. But you gave a very well organized presentation. You got our attention right away with asking the question, how many questions do you think a young 4-year-old might ask? And you had audience interaction. So you kept control of your audience. You knew, you were aware. What you then did is gave us the answer. It was like shocking statistic, 390 questions in a day. One suggestion would be maybe give us the source of where you got that. Where did you read it? Was it a specific periodical or wiki links, or Google it out, whatever it needs to be, but give us a source of that. And then you were so enthusiastic throughout. You have such great vocal variety. The things that you were telling us throughout, you're saying, reflect on that. We heard the change in vocal tones, your moderation of your vocality, both the pace and the tonality. And you truly gave us a great example of vocal variety. And then you paused when you said, never stop being curious. And you gave us a moment to really reflect upon that, which is really powerful when you have a message. And you asked questions all the way through when you came to the close, the call to action to your audience, asking, are you going to ask or not ask, and remain clueless? That's a great, great piece of wisdom that you've offered us. I also appreciated that you gave us an original story that may have been told by the photographer of Polaroid, to be able to say how something so magnificent was invented by the curiosity of a child. But then you went one step further and you gave a personal story of you and your son and asking different questions, and the skill of negotiations at that age. Wow, he's going to be a CEO. I can see it. You've got to learn those skills. I have a personal fault, that when someone asks me a question, I usually like to clarify and I ask a question back. And I know that can be very frustrating to other people when all they want is an answer and I turn it around and ask another question. But some of us might get hesitant at time to be prying and asking other questions. But I really like that you brought it around to the office, because that is really where all of these skills will come to play. I think you had great word choices. Everything was fully understood. I thought it was an excellent speech. If you add just the one item of adding where you got your resource for your research that you had, I think it will take it to the next level. It was magnificent. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susan, for that great evaluation for our speaker, Toastmaster Archana. Now, let me also call in my grammarian and my timer to give their reports. So let me call on my grammarian, Toastmaster Mohan, for his grammarian's report.
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Hold on.
Let's.
I-
You need to enable me.
You are now a co-host. You can share your screen.
Okay. Yeah. Never stop questioning. I was really and full of anxiety. Never stop questioning. Your husband? Will she say that? Oh no, at least she diverted the topic to something different. So that was really a very good kind of moment for me. Oh, I just slipped. It's not never. She's not advocating about never. Never stop questioning your husband. Okay, coming jokes apart. Let me present my screen and my report. Just to have some fun. Yeah, I think I need to put this away. And how I can do that? Yes, I can do it now. Yeah, it's a very crisp report. The word nuance, I did not observe anybody using this word, even though they have used the slight nuances properly at the appropriate position. Then coming to the good usage, Grace has used a word. Let me shift gears. It's a good usage when you're particularly doing multiple roles in a Toastmaster meeting, like a team mod, evaluator, and so on. Similarly, and then there's one word from Jim, reassure. That's a very good word. Yeah. Now, pat on the back. Good job, Jim, Grace. And then improvements. Coming to the improvements. So before telling the improvements, let me tell one word. So improvements are not to pick you up. It's basically this is the value add you're getting from this meeting because you have spent good amount of time. Yeah, the first one is myself, Shukrat. Shukrat, I mean, the best way to introduce is like I am Shukrat instead of saying myself, someone. And the fire grew a lot. I mean, it's instead of that, you can say the fire in the building started spreading gradually. It flared up into a very big fire that way, instead of having this repetition. Coming to Archana used a very good word, ponder. In the beginning, I mean, the hook questions you have used is one of the questions you asked. You said, who invented alphabets? I mean, the best usage is alphabet, or who invented the letters. Alphabet is around 26 letters. And then one of the negotiating skill, you use skill instead, you can call it as skills. There should be a plural. Coming to Kuldeep, if I speak just for speaking, you can say if I speak just for the sake of speaking, I can also give some stress on that. Grace, Grace, there is no, I try to find some grammatical mistake in your speech. I mean, it's really good. Grammatically, you are good, but there are some repetitions here and there. The word being is used twice, and you're also using this word also at the beginning of the sentence. Instead, you can, it is becoming overused. You can use certain things like there is one more example from Star Wars in addition to that, or in continuation to that. So I think you can replace this also with multiple other ways of refilling it. Yeah, that's all from my report. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohan. Now
Yeah.
let me call on our timer, Toastmaster Susan.
Yes, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Our first speaker today was Shukrat with his icebreaker. His required time was 4 to 6 minutes, and he spoke for 5 minutes and 8 seconds, right there in the middle of it. Archana, your speech was 5 to 7 minutes, and you spoke for 6 minutes and 13 seconds. On our table topics, we had Jim talking to someone who is going to be coming to their first Toastmasters meeting, wise advice, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Mohan, what superpower would you like to have? 1 minute and 37 seconds. Archana, having the fixed, intelligence being fixed, or can you get smarter? 1 minute and 12 seconds. Kuldeep, more important to speak or listen? Definitely listening. 1 minute and 44, far too little of that. And we had victor or victim mentality. Shukrath, you spoke for 40 seconds. Usually we like to get to the green with 60, but if you're out of steam, you're out of steam. That's okay. Then with the evaluations, we had Jim evaluating Shukrath, and he spoke for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I was hoping not to go over that time frame. You got 3:30. And then I got through it. Grace, you timed me. I had a little bit longer time than you did. So I'm going to report on my 3 minutes and 25 seconds. I had the clock going. I didn't want to go over either. Make sure that as a timer, at least, I'm staying within the requirements. And that would conclude my report for today, Grace.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suzanne. Now, let me ask our guests for some feedback of our Toastmaster meeting for today. Can we add some feedback for some of our guests today? And share the experiences. Maybe
Yeah,
Hi, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
Finish again,
hi
please.
everybody. Good morning. I am in India right now. It's a city of love, that is Dehradun. I have attended couple of meetings before, and today I wanted to be there on time but never had the link. So sorry for joining quite late. But as always, there is a lot to learn because every Toastmasters meeting, though we follow the same format, but they have their own flavor and something different to serve on the platters. So looking forward to attend more meetings. Thank you. Professionally, I am a soft skills trainer. Thank you.
thank you, Toastmaster Richa.
Yeah,
Toastmaster
let me
Mohan.
share my view. Yeah, so yesterday I attended one meeting and today the second one. So what I feel is this is really a very lean way of conducting a Toastmasters meeting, a very crisp meeting. We have 2 speakers, 2 evaluators, and very short, small and effective team of tag team. I think I found a way how to conduct a Toastmasters in a very lean and a very short way, right? So in the past, when I attended some meetings in Hyderabad, we have around like 50 participants, and there are role players, at least 13 role players, a minimum of 13 role players. That's what I know. But now I understood a way to do this in a very lean way of conducting a Toastmasters meeting, but still effective meeting. The quality of meeting is still there. The format is still followed, just like body, header, body, and conclusion for a speech. We have the 3 sections, the prepared speeches, and then the table topics, and then the evaluation. It's a very lean way of putting this Toastmasters meeting very effective. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohan. Toastmaster Kuldeep, can you share your experience with us?
Yeah, I attended this meeting. I have attended earlier Toastmaster meeting, but this is also good meeting, and you have followed the complete structure. And I have attended this group meeting first time, and I liked all the members and the way they are evaluating, and the level of speeches are very high. Means the prepared speech level was very good. So I also looking for further. I will attend the meetings, and I will improve myself with this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kuldeep. Toastmaster Shukra, do you have something to share with us?
As a first speech, I was quite nervous, and the point was, to be frank, I was a second speaker, and what I did it at 7 a.m. Again, I took my notebook and and started writing key points. What should I speak? And when I was when the turn was me speaking first, I kept it apart and I stood and I started speaking. I forgot 3 to 4 points to say. That's it. And today we had a good meeting and wonderful table topics.
Thank you so much for that feedback, Toastmaster Shukrut. But for your first speech, you did really good. I assure you that. as you grow along, as you continue with your journey, you will. But this one was your first one was a good one. And so let me call on our president, Toastmaster Susan, if you have anything to share with us.
Yes, I would like to thank everybody for coming today. We know that the more Toastmasters clubs that we visit and participate in, the deeper the opportunities are for our growth. And we very much appreciate that. We do have a larger membership than this, but people are traveling and people have family situations. So we're always grateful for the guests to come in to join us. We'd love for you to join, be part of our club, because this has value. I know in some of the larger clubs, you can't get an opportunity for speaking for weeks at a time because there are so many members, and here there's always the opportunity. So please do consider joining us. In the next month, during this month of May, we will of course be talking to our members about next year's slate of officers that start on July 1st. So we will in fact be talking about nominations in the next 2 meetings to talk about what role might you like to play. You can, any paid member of the club can nominate any other paid member of the club, or you can self-nominate. What role might you like to play, from president, vice president of education, vice president of membership, of public relations, secretary, treasurer, and sergeant at arms. We do need a slate of 7, and we would like it to be filled with 7 different members, but we need commitment from our members to do that. So if you're looking for a leadership opportunity, ponder along the way of which one you might like to do, and know that the current officer in that role will help guide and train you in the next year. So there's training as well at the district level, but we plan to do it here as well with each other. Secondly, those same officers will be elected at a meeting to be announced, likely early in June, and then it will be for a installation of officers, so that you have your commitment and your promise to your members that you will in fact attend the training, you will in fact do the things that are necessary to help this club learn and grow. Now, this club is doing fantastically on our educational awards, but we are in need of members. So we are running a speechcraft session that will be kicking off in the end of May. If you know anybody who is not a Toastmaster and would like to participate in a speechcraft session, it will be Saturday nights PST time at 6:30, Eastern time at 9:30, and India time at 7 a.m. Information has been posted on our WhatsApp. It's also on our Facebook pages, and we're looking for participants. People would like to have a 4-week commitment to participate and learn fast growing. First week, you listen and learn. Second week, you give an icebreaker. Third week, you give another speech and you evaluate. Fourth week, you give another speech. So you get a little bit faster pace. It's a shortened version. It is open to members as well if they would like to participate. Just put your message in WhatsApp to either me or Raghu, and we'll certainly try to hook you up with that, because it'll be a fantastic. But reach out to people who are looking to join Toastmasters and don't yet know whether they want to make that 6-month commitment. Let them make a 4-week commitment, and then we hook them, because they will love it and want to be part of it with us as well. So we can grow our membership before the end of the membership year. If there's no other business, I am actually going to stop the recording.